The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of Digi-all. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to Digi-all Tech News. Today is Saturday, January 17th, 2026. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. China surprises everyone by blocking Nvidia's H200 AI chips, even though the US just cleared them for export. The Trump administration pushes tech giants to fund new power plants as AI drives electricity prices through the roof. A federal judge orders the shadow library Anna's archive to delete everything, but nobody expects them to actually do it. OpenAI announces plans to test ads on ChatGPT as part of its mission to make AI more accessible. And amateur mathematicians are now using AI to crack problems that stumped experts for decades. Let's start with what I think is the most fascinating story of the day. So here's the situation. The US government finally gives the green light for Nvidia's H200 chips to be exported to China. And what does China do? They block them at customs. According to the Financial Times, Chinese authorities even summoned domestic tech firms and basically told them, don't buy these chips unless absolutely necessary. And get this, they didn't even explain why. No official statement, no clarity on whether this is temporary or permanent. Nvidia was expecting over 1 million orders from Chinese clients, and suppliers were gearing up for shipments as early as March. Now everything's on hold. The irony here is rich. The US imposed a 25% tariff on these chips and required them to pass through a US lab for testing. Some experts thought this would actually slow China's domestic chip development by keeping them dependent on American technology. Others worried it could still empower China's military. But China apparently said, thanks, but no thanks. It's a bold move, and honestly, it signals just how complicated this tech Cold War has become. Now, speaking of AI creating problems, let's talk about power. If you've been following the AI boom, you know these data centers are absolute energy hogs. And the people paying for it? Regular consumers. Well, the Trump administration wants to change that. Yesterday, they announced a deal where major tech companies have agreed to fund $15 billion for new power generation on the PJM grid. That's the largest electrical network in the US, serving 65 million people across 13 states and DC. Here's why this matters. Northern Virginia is the world's largest data center market, and all that AI training is driving electricity prices way up. A recent report found that $23 billion in capacity costs are directly attributable to data centers. That's your money being transferred to tech companies. Pennsylvania's Governor Shapiro didn't mince words. He basically threatened to pull out of PJM entirely if they don't reform. Quote, "This faceless bureaucratic organization is raising prices on the American people." End quote. And there's a real urgency here. PJM's recent auction showed a deficit of 6 gigawatts for 2027 reliability. That's equivalent to 6 large nuclear plants. So, yeah, making tech companies pay for their own power infrastructure seems pretty reasonable to me. Alright, let's shift gears to a story that's equal parts interesting and inevitable. A federal judge issued a default judgment against Anna's archive, the shadow library that's been archiving millions of books. The court ordered them to delete all the data they scraped from WorldCat, which is basically the world's largest library catalog. Now, the lawsuit from OCLC claimed Anna's archive essentially hacked their servers for about a year, stealing 2.2 terabytes of data. The thing is, Anna's archive never even responded to the lawsuit. They openly admit to violating copyright laws. Their whole mission is preserving books by making them freely available through torrents. The site's creator, who goes by Anna, announced the WorldCat scraping in a blog post back in October 2023. They recently lost their .org domain, but the site just popped up somewhere else. And here's the kicker. Absolutely no one expects them to actually comply. It's a fascinating case study in how difficult it is to enforce internet takedowns when someone simply doesn't care about the legal consequences. Now for some news that might make you feel a certain way. OpenAI is bringing ads to ChatGPT. Yes, really. Their chief product officer, Fiji Simo, announced yesterday that they'll be testing advertisements for free users and their new ChatGPT Go subscribers in the US. ChatGPT Go, by the way, is their new $8 a month tier that launched globally, including the US. It gives you core features like messaging, image creation, and file uploads. The ads will appear as clearly labeled sponsored products at the bottom of answers, separate from the actual response. OpenAI is being very careful here. They promise ads won't influence ChatGPT's responses, your conversations stay private and won't be sold to advertisers, and you can opt out of personalization. Users under 18 won't see ads at all, and neither will people asking about sensitive topics like health or politics. Look, I get it. Running AI at this scale is incredibly expensive, and subscriptions alone aren't enough. But there's something a little sad about watching the future of knowledge become another ad platform. The silver lining? Pro, business, and enterprise plans remain completely ad-free. Let me end with a story that genuinely made me smile. Amateur mathematicians are using AI to solve problems that have been unsolved for decades. These are puzzles created by the legendary Paul Erdos, who left behind over 1,000 unsolved questions across mathematics. A website run by Thomas Bloom at the University of Manchester catalogues these problems, and people have started throwing AI tools like ChatGPT at them. And it's working. A Cambridge undergraduate named Kevin Barreto and an amateur named Liam Price used ChatGPT 5.2 Pro to crack Erdos problem 728, a number theory conjecture. The proof was sophisticated enough that it got verified by Aristotle, an AI tool that converts proofs to a format computers can check. As of mid-January, 6 Erdos problems have been solved with AI assistance, though 5 of those turned out to have prior solutions buried in obscure papers. Still, one problem, number 205, appears to be genuinely newly solved. What excites me here isn't just the solutions, it's that AI is lowering the barrier to serious mathematical research. You don't need a PhD or access to an elite institution anymore. Terence Tao, one of the world's greatest living mathematicians, noted that AI handling straightforward problems indicates we've crossed a threshold. The future of math might look more like a collaboration between curious humans and tireless machines. So that's where we are this Saturday. The chip wars are getting weirder, the power grid is struggling to keep up with AI, shadow libraries are playing whack-a-mole with the courts, ChatGPT is about to show you ads, and amateurs with AI are solving problems that stumped mathematicians for years. Technology keeps moving, and we'll keep breaking it down for you. Thank you for staying informed with Digi-all Tech News. I'm Kylie Brooks, and we'll be back with more updates as they develop.